yo, moving on real quick. We have to move on to one of our favorite segments. Like it, love it, or
hated it.
Yeah, buddy. And in this segment, we talk about the things we like, love, and or hate certain situations. One of the things that most recently has come about, we found out ex-Washington football team member, solid vet. We all, he holds a special place in all of our hearts. Morgan Moses gets the deal, signs with the Jets. The package is worth $3.6 million of base salary, and he can get up to $5.3 million with playing time incentives. So, Ab, man, back to you. Like it, love it, or hate it. How you feel about this, man?
I like it. The only reason why I don't love it is because it's not a multi-deal. It's probably little to no guarantees. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's no certainty for his future. I hate the stigma that's left on these players when they get released late in the season, or I'm sorry, it's late in the early preseason.
Yeah.
And then like they're bad players or something like that. So now the only contracts that they can get are these one-first kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And honestly, like 2 firsts are probably like they're hope and pray for 2 firsts kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But like honestly, when you sign a contract, it's all about the guarantees. And this isn't sufficient for a player like him. This man is a starter. I honestly, Sean, I'm gonna have I'm just taking it back.
Go ahead, bro.
Taking it back for us. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
So taking it back to when me and Sean were young lads. You know what I'm saying? Like playing our favorite game. You know what I'm saying? With a smile on our face, carrying the ball and everything like that.
Yep.
You know, it's like an early thing you learn is like stay on the field at all costs. And I mean, it's because literally, if you jump off that field, someone's going to take your spot. Someone can take your spot. And it goes to, I recall JV year, and we were playing football, and I was a really good running back, but who was in front of me? I don't know if you remember him, Sean, Davu Sue.
Oh yeah, yes sir.
He was in front of me. Davu was good.
Yeah, I remember him.
Davu was real good. Like shout out Davu.
Shout out to you. Hey, what the bamboo food truck?
And
that's company good food. Definitely check them out.
All right, definitely got it. I got to hit that joint up. But my man Davu, he was all-star on that field. But I couldn't get time, not 1 minute of time, until the late in the second to last game of the year. Davu got hurt, and he was out. And then that's when I was able to jump on and actually get some playing time. And then when Davu got back, he couldn't get back onto the field because I had taken his spot. But also, like, the coaches didn't think it was fair for him to be okay a day before the the game, Mama. But you get what I'm saying.
I can say it, yeah.
You get what I'm saying, okay? I mean, that helped me out a little bit, but the point's still there. He could not get on the field, okay? Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. It's just that Morgan Moses doesn't let anyone jump on that field.
Yeah.
Get that opportunity. He maybe takes a play or 2 off, but literally he's like, wrap that up and jumps right back out there after that. That's the only time he takes off is so they can wrap it up tighter and so he can get back onto the field. You can't, especially with players now, like players are like, oh, I got a hangnail. I need to take 3 weeks off, and they're being paid and they know their spot is always going to be there afterwards. Right. Morgan Moses plays like he's not getting paid. He plays like he's putting his all the time. And honestly, I still hold I still hold deep in my heart that this man was our best offensive lineman.
Yeah.
For years.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of the most underrated. I think that was an absolutely great point. And to that point, personally, like I'm gonna go ahead, Will. I like this. I like that he got signed. I think the Jets could have done better, but I think once they realize how valuable of an asset he is, especially with having Vera Tucker, you have that young lineman, you have Zach Wilson, the young quarterback, my guy Michael Carter, the young running back. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna help. But I think you're absolutely right. He was our most underrated. We always hear about the Trent Williams and the Brandon Sheriff and this guy and that. But Morgan Moses, day in, day out, he was there. He got on the field. He did what he needed to do. And to your story, for you as DeVue, for me, Will, you probably know this guy, Duriel Thomas. Duriel Thomas was Mr. All-World coming out of middle school. When I moved to Herndon my freshman year, and I was, I'm sitting here asking people who's who. And I remember J.R. Blandon said, see that guy over there? Yeah, you're not taking his spot. That's Duriel Thomas. One of the only freshmen that I've ever known in Herndon to play on varsity his freshman year. The only time I got to start was when they used him as a decoy and they put him at wide receiver on last game of the year and they put me at running back. I remember I told my mom, I'm starting. And they took me out in the second play of the game. They ran a screen to him on the first and took me out of the second play of the game. I say that to say, if the thing is, if you're that type of guy, you're not going to come off the field. You're always going to be there. He was that type of guy. He didn't let the person behind him get an opportunity because he said, I will be damned if anybody takes my spot. If I can play, as long as the blood is pumping, I can play. And that's how we were, Ab. I mean, to your point, you and I were that type of guy where it's like, if we can get on the field, period, end, story's over. We're going to play. So the Jets are getting somebody good. I miss him. He was a rock for us in a lot of dark days that we had. He was definitely a light for us. Will, what do you think, man?
I think he picked a good spot. It's a young team, a new coach coming in with a lot of enthusiasm. They've got some solid players on the line. A young quarterback, like you mentioned, I think for him, he picked a good spot, and I think it'll be interesting to see how he does. I think he'll be a real asset to him. So, we went from having a really, really, really good offensive line with depth to, now we lost, one of our starters. I do think he's replaceable. On the field, talent-wise, I think he's replaceable. But I think for him, he put himself into a good spot, and, hopefully he can turn that into something more after the season.
Yeah. And go ahead. You guys have something?
I was going to say that he makes that whole offensive line better now. Like that team, like honestly, no lie, offense kind of looks scary now.
Yeah,
they really do. Like
they got pieces for sure.
Are you really
scary?
Left tackle, right tackle. They got Crowder. They got Mims. They got another wide receiver this year. I'm trying to tell you, like your boy Michael Carter.
Yes, sir. North Carolina, baby.
Jury's out.
I'm trying to tell you, I don't know their inner line, but if it's an upgrade from what they did last year, dude. But so right and left tackle though, they got it's like hands down set, bro. Like they honestly. And if Robert Salas puts a different work ethic into that team, like he does, like Ron Rivera had done to our team, like I said, the team might be scary. And I don't know. I'm trying to tell you guys, when I first heard of Robert Salas and he was in 49ers and everything like that, him screaming and like everything, I'm like, Okay. I really wanted to jump up and do some shit from my couch, because of this man on the TV. And if he can incorporate that into their team, I'm trying to tell you, man.
Oh yeah. And hey, that's an excellent point. That's an excellent point because That's the X factor in my mind. I'm glad you brought him up because I definitely think, especially with that, you bring in a Morgan Moses, and that's somebody that can be a locker room leader. And then you have a Robert Salah who has that personality, has that heart. Yes, Mr. Moral Support. I know you watch it. It's your guy. We know you love Morgan Moses, Anton. Let's go. But yeah, he's that type of guy, that type of rah-rah guy. You got a nice little team that you're building. That AFC East is going to be interesting. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, it's still the Jets. So I know Jets fans will sit here and say, nope, we'll believe it when we see it. And then even still then, they probably won't believe it. You know, that's New York for you. But honestly, with that coach, and let's be honest with you, that is worlds away from Adam Gase. That is, we've got to see what he's going to do on the field as far as wins and losses, but that is so much better than Adam Gase and all the nonsense that they had going on there the last couple years. You know what I mean? So, hey, shout out to Morgan Moses because I think he got himself in a good situation right now. I definitely think he does. All right, so we are moving on in Like It, Love It, or Hate It, and we touched on this last week. Will, I'm going to go to you real quick. Essentially, last week they brought out the new updated COVID-19 protocols. Like we mentioned, if you're fully vaccinated, no daily testing required, masks are not required in a club facility or during team travel. You don't have to physical distance. No quarantine is required if you high risk of exposure, no travel restrictions. You can eat in the cafeteria, yada, yada, yada. If you're not fully vaccinated, and you can have one vaccine, one doses, and not the second one, you got to still test every day. You still got to wear your mask everywhere. You still got to social distance. You can only have 15 players in the weight room. Travel restrictions are still in effect. You can't use a sauna. No social media marketing sponsorship activities are permitted. It's taking money out of people's pockets. Will, we've talked about how a couple of weeks we talked about Montez Sweat and how he's saying, I'm not going to get the vaccine. I haven't been, I don't have COVID, so I don't need to get the vaccine and this and this and that.
What up, Anthony? Sorry.
Yeah. That Anthony Handy in the building. Yes, sir. What's going on, my friend? But Will, I'm coming to you. This is going to make a big difference. This is going to make a big difference in this coming year. And it could be a point of dissension between some teams. What do you think, Will?
Yeah, teams, players. Essentially, I don't necessarily think the league can say you must be vaccinated. I don't know if they can legally make that rule, but they can say, so you have the ability to be vaccinated, and those of you that are get to do this, and those of you that are not, it's going to suck, and it's going to suck real bad for you. And to essentially force them to say, this sucks so bad that I'm going to go get my shot. I'm just going to go get this taken care of. And you know what? I'm for it. I'm totally for it. I think it's for the good of the team. It's for the good of everyone. It's also because the NFL wants to make some money. We talked about how you cannot have a situation where you've got star players not being able to play like they did last year or risking that. They talked about, I was just listening to the news tonight, and they said, there's this new variant going around all 50 states. If you're vaccinated, you really don't have to worry much about it because it's not going to do much different than what the other COVID variants are out there. But if you're not vaccinated, you're at a higher risk to get this. And this isn't going to be the only variant that comes around, So if this is the way the NFL can protect their players and protect the brand, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I'm with it. And I got to shout out my man Anthony Handy. Oh my God, the shirtless wonder called me by name. I think I'm gonna pass out. OMG! And we got a pit stop right here, man. Because look, hey, Will asked me at the beginning of the show when we were like, "Yo, the shirtless wonder, where is he?" There, and he was saying, "How do our female fans? How are they gonna respond to this? They come to see you every week, man." So yes, Anthony. A lot of people they echo that sentiment. But with the COVID protocols, updated COVID protocols, what are you thinking, man?
So just like honestly, I agree with everything Will said. It's they're basically strongholding everyone to get the shot. That's pretty much exactly what this is. But it also plays into the North Carolina State. It was at that the North Carolina State situation. So and honestly, when you put it in our chat, Will, I had no idea what you were talking about, but I saw something about it, and it was talking about. So let me elaborate on. So basically, North Carolina State was like one win away from the College World Series. Big deal, big deal. And a few members on their team got COVID. Okay, but there was more players that didn't have COVID. And long story short, even some of the players that had vaccines still got COVID. They were some of the people that were still able to get COVID. So I don't like it for that reason. And like that's where I'm saying it's just like, so we're still able, like I'm vaccinated. So me being vaccinated, I'm still able to catch COVID. So why aren't we still having these precautions for us too? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. There should be precautions around the league so no one's asked out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Being like, oh, you got. But basically, what these rules are saying is we're only going to test the non-vaccinated for COVID to see if they have it. And if they do, they can't play. Yeah. But we're not going to test the people that have the shots. We're not going to test the people that have the shots, so they can carry COVID and everything like that around everybody else and not know who the hell has COVID because we're not testing the people with the COVID shot.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? You get what I'm saying? Like, it kind of seems like the league hasn't done their research enough, especially with this North Carolina State thing coming out saying, hey, people with the vaccine were still able to get we're still able to get the get COVID. So it's still it's dumb to me. I mean, I think it's I understand that the COVID shots is here for us to get better and everything like that, but it's just the rules don't make sense, especially if the people that get the COVID shot are able to get COVID still.
Right. And shout out to Anthony. He said, "Yeah, man." And now the Delta variant is a factor. I'm one of the less than 1% of the folks that's still wearing a mask, and I ain't playing with the Rona because it ain't playing with us. It's for real. And right back to your point. We talked about this off camera, the three of us. Will, you said in South Carolina it's a free for all. Ab, you said in Maryland it's a free for all.
No cares at all.
Yeah, Pat and I just got back from Michigan. Even, so much so when we were in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I had my Washington mask, and I wasn't even really wearing. I had it a little bit over, but I had it more so because that was the only memorabilia I had on me. And I got so many looks by just random people, like what are you doing, and this and that, and I'm like, this hasn't gone away, folks. This thing is still here. What are we talking about? You know what I mean? The vaccine is to help you. It's to help you to kind of slow the thing down. But this thing is still here and it's still getting people. So don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you still got to adhere to these policies and these different things that are keeping us safe. Let me say that again. Adhere to these policies because they're keeping us safe. Don't get back into this thing. Now that you know that it's here, you need to do what is necessary. And I think that's going to play a major factor when it comes to the regular season. Yeah.
I have another theory on that too, though.
Oh.
I do.
Are we going to have a double theory session here?
You want to hear it?
What you got?
Yeah.
So I have a theory.
I got a theory.
I have a theory. Remember at the beginning of COVID, they just confirmed that UFOs are a real thing. Y'all remember that?
I remember hearing about it.
Are you?
I remember hearing about it.
A little bit. There's been
I
news
remember
out,
hearing
but go
about
ahead.
it. I
Y'all
remember
ain't
hearing
woke,
about
man. Honestly, I can't talk to no woke, not woke people, man. Like, honestly, at the beginning of COVID, they introduced UFOs, but it was it wasn't mainstream like COVID, so it didn't get enough attention as COVID. So honestly, this headline that people were this about for what 100 something years, and but it was under the radar, and like they finally brought it out. What if the COVID shot is to protect us from aliens? And people are I can't talk to you. I can't because you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you, when I'm protected from the aliens, I'm gonna be looking up like this. Bye, Will.
I got mine. I'm fine.
Yeah, we're good.
Just like bye, Will.
You're really going out on a limb here. I don't know.
Yeah, we talked about everything.
See, y'all didn't even know what I was talking about, though. Like, honestly, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying, that we're not even paying attention to everything that's out there because of how much in our face COVID was. That aliens were able to fly by, and not a lot of people even knew about it.
Well, they did come out on Friday. The government has said that, yes, there are unidentified flying objects out there.
When?
But they said they said we don't know what they are. They could be military, they could be personal aircrafts, they could be there's enough that we don't know what they are. They didn't come out here saying, yeah, there's UFOs out there and they're being flown by aliens. They said there are aircraft out there that we cannot identify and say where did they come from. So yes, you are true. They have come out with that. Yeah.
Shout out to Anthony. Why Will got to be the one to fly his plane into the mothership? Will, no love.
Hey, because I got my red, white, and blue. This is my 4th of July jersey on here.
There we go.
It's got the stars and stripes. I look ridiculous. 4th of July, folks. Get ready.
Let's go. Shout out. So yeah, I'm telling you this right now. COVID is going to rear its ugly head, unfortunately. It's still around, and unfortunately, people are in such a hurry to get over it and get past it, and not have the same summer and the same year that we had a year ago. I mean, we've covered it on the show that Washington's going to be 100% capacity in the stadiums. You know what I mean? These guys aren't going to all have masks on and things like that. And definitely in some of these other places that they don't believe in any of that, they're definitely going to still be it's going to be a free for all. So guys, if you not vaccinated, please get vaccinated. If not, just stay safe. Think of other people. That's where we're at. But this is going to be an interesting topic, and I think we're going to touch on this a little bit later. But we have one more topic in Like It, Love It, or Hate It. Dan Snyder, as we mentioned before, is in the news. Dan Snyder has made his wife, Tanya Snyder, a co-CEO of the Washington football team. The franchise made the announcement Tuesday, making her one of the few women CEOs in the history of the league. She's also the co-owner of the franchise with Dan Snyder. The Snyder family purchased the franchise in 1999.
Hi, Karen. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yes, purchased it in 1999. Honestly, I'm not going to say too much because I know where you're going. I know where you're going, Ab, in a little bit. So I'm obviously skeptical, as I'm sure we all are. If this could help to get this thing out of his hands, then I like it. But I'm very, very skeptical. Will, what are you thinking, man?
So this should be a huge decision and a huge event and being celebrated, much like when the Miami Marlins named their general manager a female. This should be huge, but unfortunately, I don't really think this is genuine. I hate to kind of compare it. The Snyders kind of remind me a little bit like Francis Underwood and Francis and Claire Underwood from House of Cards. They were not good people if you know the show very well. And I don't think Tanya's nearly as bad as Claire Underwood, but they just doing things maybe not for the right reasons. Now, obviously, I don't know Tanya Snyder. None of us have met her or worked with her, so we have to make some assumptions. And so I've done some listening on this, and from all accounts, she has a very good reputation. He's a piece of shit, but she has a very good reputation. She's done some things in the organization for the NFL. She started their Think Pink initiative every October. All the pink that gets worn out and breast cancer awareness, and she is a survivor as well. So she's done some really good things. And part of the charitable foundations for the organization, and the fact that she's being appointed in an actual position, this really should be a big deal for women and for equality. But I just think everyone kind of realizes there's more to this story here that we don't know about yet. The only other thing I will say this though is while I've heard that she's a really good person and someone that could be good at the face of the franchise. Dan Snyder has been running this team for over 20 years, all right? During that time, he's had a lot of downs, some ups, but then there's always downs. She goes to sleep every single night next to this guy, hearing what his thoughts are about the team. And at no point did she ever say, your leadership really isn't working. This really isn't working out. Have you thought about what you're doing here? I truly believe that she would never, ever have been okay with the treatment of the staff members, the sexualization of the office that they had, the cheerleading situation where they were taking nude clips and putting them together and giving Snyder and some of his friends these videos to have. Of course, she would never be a part of that. But she had to know when she was in the building that her husband gave off an aura of people being uncomfortable around him. She had to know, my husband, is a douche, for lack of better words.
There you go.
And yet she's been with him. So it's I don't think, I wish this could be bigger than what it is. And I gotta think you had to see the warning signs here with your husband, the decisions he made, and you stayed back and didn't intervene. And maybe, Ab, you're right. He's a narcissist. Maybe he never would have listened to her anyway. And even in this situation, he won't listen to her. I don't know. But I just wish this was being celebrated the way it should be. And I kind of feel like this is a PR grab by the team.
Yeah, it's hard.
In the wrong way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ab, I'm coming to you. It's hard. It's hard not to look at that any other way. You know what I mean? It's hard not to look at it as okay, this is a plot to get attention off of you. So like it, love it, or hate it, Ab. What are you thinking?
Honestly, I'm sorry. It's probably a G move, man. Honestly, my man's a G for doing it. It might work out for him. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, as far as a narcissist goes, this is a great move for him, and for us, it's just. And you know what I'm saying? It just means that we're stuck under this umbrella of Snyderism. You see how I just created a word out of a not word, but just made it a word anyway.
I see what you did.
Okay. But yeah, we're stuck under this umbrella of that. And to me, I don't like it one bit in that sense. But for him, his family, that you know what I'm saying? This is nepotism, right? This is hands definition of nepotism. So, I mean, she got her job. You know what I'm saying? That's how rich stay richer, man. They don't let go of nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, good job, Dan.
Yeah, he did what he did. Got to shout out my guy. We're stuck under the umbrella of Snyderism. There it is. got to shout it out. Hey, you absolutely right, man. It is that way. We see what's happening. Like we mentioned a couple weeks ago about us looking at, with Snyder and those guys looking at new stadiums, looking at potentially getting a new place, and that seems to be the hot topic with a lot of different teams now, looking at potentially getting new stadiums. Buffalo was looking at it, Chicago is looking at it. This might help with that. You know what I mean? Maybe, we talk about all the things she's done for breast cancer awareness. But again, like you both said, it's just it's just weird. It's just weird, the timing and how he's doing it, and why all of a sudden right now are you making her go? Because it's like you said, Will, you go to sleep with her every night. We think we're assuming,
Right.
you're with her every,
I don't assume that.
Right. Hey, well, exactly. They make that much money. They probably have their own houses or their own wings of a house.
I saw Wolf of Wall Street, bro. I'm trying to tell you, they ain't going together at the same time.
Well, there it is. And the thing that you said, Will, about how they're cutting together the nude tapes and videos and sending it to Snyder and his buddies. Yeah, he might not be sleeping with her at all. So it might just be a financial thing. So she might have sat there and said, hey, listen, if you don't want me to take you for everything you're worth and have you lose a team, you need to go ahead and give me this kind of power. And
damn it, that was a point I was going to make.
I don't think it's her saying this, and I don't want to get it too much. So I will say, so Ab, if I say this and you're going to go into it, just say, we'll stop. I think the NFL is a part of this.
I was going to say that too.
Okay, I'll stop.